Silicon Valley.
Organizations have a shared mission of cultivating and mentoring women leaders in Santa Clara County and Silicon Valley.
We are so honored to be participating in tonight's ceremony and community celebration as Betty Yoon, the first Vietnamese American member of the County of Santa Clara Board of Supervisors, is sworn in for her first full term.
It is also exciting as we begin a new collaboration to work for a brighter future for the East Side, Little Saigon, downtown San Jose, South Side, and the rest of District 2.
We would like to start by telling you a little bit about some of the people sitting in the front rows.
These are the elders of our community, leaders and committed citizens who have spent decades working to improve the lives of San Jose and Santa Clara County residents.
The respect for elders is deeply rooted in Vietnamese culture and throughout Asia, and it holds an immense personal significance for Supervisor Yoon.
These leaders come from key areas of Betty's life, leaders from the neighborhoods and communities of District 2, personal mentors to her, and leaders from our Vietnamese community.
We'd like to now introduce Julie Ramirez for our land acknowledgement.
Makimak mawit mahuhulam, ako'y makorep manama kiswi. Jorge Tuhi, Canakraca, Julie Dominguez, Canahini, Dolores Sanchez. My name is Julie Dominguez and I greeted you in my native Chochenyo language. I'm here today on behalf of our chairwoman, Charlene Nijman, to present to you Mawit Mahuhulam Waret Tashu, our Mawit Maloni tribal land acknowledgement. Jorge Tuhi, we would like to recognize that while we come together today in the city of San Jose for Betty Young's swearing-in ceremony for the Santa Clara County seat, we are gathered on the ethno-historic tribal territory of the Tamian Ohlone-speaking tribal groups of the greater Santa Clara Valley, which includes the lands of the Matalans, Paleños, Alsans, and the Tamians, whose tribal region was named after their powerful chief Captain Paula, and the two Mexican land grants located above East Hills in San Jose, and who were intermarried with the direct ancestors of some of the lineages enrolled in the Wood-Maloney tribe of the San Francisco Bay Area, whom were missionized into Mission San Francisco, Santa Clara, and San Jose. The present day Wood-Maloney tribe was an enrolled Bureau of Indian Affairs. Documented membership of over 600 members is comprised of all of the known surviving Indian lineages aboriginal to the San Francisco Bay region. And we trace our tribe's ancestry to the Mishunigmas, Mission Santa Clara, the Tamian, San Jose, and San Francisco. During the expansion of the Hispano-European Empire into Alta California beginning in AD 1769. Makmawikma Suyakma. Our Mawikma families are the successors and living members of the sovereign, historic, previously federally recognized under the Verona Band of Alameda County, but now we are formally recognized as the Mawikma tribe of the San Francisco Bay Area. Mawikma means la gente, or the people in our native Chochenyo language. The region surrounding the city of San Jose is where many of our tribe's ancestral heritage, cemetery, and village sites are located, especially adjacent to freshwater corridors, such as the Los Gatos Creek and the Guadalupe River, where many have since been destroyed because of the result of unbridled development. These localities are viewed as historic and sacred places, as it has been acknowledged by many scholars that these lands have been previously settled, harvested, and controlled upon by our Mawikma tribal groups for many thousands of years. Today, though, we, the Mawikma tribal leadership and members, work hard stewarding, addressing, and protecting many of our up to 10,000-year-old ancestral heritage village and cemetery sites, such as the old Holiday Inn site located downtown San Jose along Thumb and Rume, the Guadalupe River, to the 9,900-year-old Metcalf Road site located along Maya and Rume, Coyote Creek, and Highway 101. The city of San Jose and Santa Clara County, as mentioned, are established within our ancestral Tamil tribal ethno-historic territory, which, based upon the 18 unratified federal treaties of 1851 to 1852, includes the unceded ancestral homelands of the Muwekma tribe of the San Francisco Bay region. Some of the Muwekma lineages are directly descended from ancestors aboriginal to the Tamil tribal territory, whose families had affiliations with Mission Santa Clara de Tamian. But also some of those Muwekma lineages are descended from the direct ancestors from neighboring Ohlone tribes, who were intermarried with Mission Santa Clara, Lareño, Mission San Francisco, Doloreño, and Mission San Jose natives. It is important, though, that we pause and we recognize the history of the land of the Tamil Ohlone, at which we have come to gather, participate, enjoy, learn, and honor, but also acknowledge that the first people of this region, our Muwekma Ohlone tribal people, are alive and thriving members of the San Jose and Broader Bay Area communities today. And even though our tribe was denied a land base through the gross negligence of derelict BIA officials, after our tribe was first federally recognized in 1906, it is because of the tenacity, or tuyeste, strength and legacy of our ancestors, that Muwekma, our people, have been able to maintain our identity and traditions while keeping our culture and Maknono, our language, alive today. Furthermore, Muwekma Buhulang Suyakma, our Muwekma Ohlone families have never left our aboriginal homelands of the San Francisco Bay Area. Today, though, we attempt to repair the sustained ecological, environmental, and cultural devastation to our tribe that has been wrought by over 251 years of colonial processes of disenfranchisement through the politics of erasure, still happening today. But we are focused on keeping our traditional culture strong, but we work for an bright and favorable future for Shinanigma, our children, while ensuing generations in the footsteps of Makunchishkush, our ancestors. We respectfully request that the good citizens in the city of San Jose and surrounding towns within Santa Clara County strive to be faithful stewards on behalf of the Muwekma tribe by maintaining the bay, freshwater creeks, native plants, animal habitats, and the air that we all breathe. Furthermore, we request that the city of San Jose and surrounding towns within Santa Clara County honor the military service of our Muwekma men and women who have honorably served overseas during World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Desert Storm, Iraq, and who are still serving in the United States Armed Forces today. And honor the tribal veterans and service members from California, North and South America who have served this country with dignity and honor. It is of great spiritual significance to acknowledge the special relationship that we have with the Clrara, beautiful land of the indigenous Muwekma tribe in this region, as well as to all people residing in the Bay Area. We respectfully request that everyone who lives, works, or visits in the city of San Jose and surrounding towns to be respectful of our Aboriginal lands, natural habitats, and consistent with our principles of community, diversity, and inclusion, strive to be good stewards on behalf of the Muwekma tribe, on whose Aboriginal lands you are our guests. Thank you, and on behalf of the Muwekma tribe, we hope that you honor, celebrate, and stand in solidarity with all Muwekma's indigenous peoples with their struggles to reverse the adverse colonial legacies affecting all people of color in the city of San Jose, the Greater Bay Area, California, the United States, and the Americas, as we come to gather and reflect on the sacred lands of the Tamil Ohlone, the ancestors of the Muwekma tribe. That's our formal land acknowledgement, and on behalf of our chairwoman, Charlene Niesman, who unfortunately couldn't be here tonight, would like to state the following. As we share this land acknowledgement, we recognize not only the beauty of our ancestral homeland, but also the enduring struggles and resilience of our Muwekma people. For over 10,000 years, we have rooted ourselves in this land, cultivating deep connections with its mountains, rivers, valleys, Mother Earth. Despite facing significant pressures from gentrification and the prolonged struggle for federal recognition, we stand firm in our commitment to our ancestral heritage and our right to exist on our homelands. Our fight is not merely for acknowledgement, but for the restoration of our rightful place in this community and the protection of our cultural legacies and ancestral burial sites with the future generations. We embody a spirit of perseverance and refuse to surrender our identity and our home. We continue to advocate for justice, ensuring that the stories of our past thrive in our history books, in public discourse, and in the regional conscience. Our resolve is unyielding, and we will not give up on reclaiming our rightful place in the history of this land. From a personal note, Betty, I thank you for your continued allyship, because you embody what it is for diversity and inclusion, to show solidarity amongst not just Muwekma, but as mentioned, all people of color, for minorities, and people who grew up in Inside San Jose and just need that touch of home and what it is to be diverse where we are. People often ask, why land acknowledgement? And what's the reflection? What does it mean? And my answer to you, and it's different from member to member, is I can give you a reflection of, do you know what it feels like to hold an ancestral remain in your hand, or to see a mass grave, and to not have any rights to that burial ground, or to where those burials are going to be redeveloped, and anything that comes to do with those remains. It's very hard to see that. And we have promises and broken treaties, and it's hurtful. And people say, well, why does that matter? It's not my burial, and it's not my family. In 100 years or 200 years from now, whatever that time frame is for each one of you, that's your gravesite, potentially. And we would never go to a gravesite today and dig up to redevelop for our own personal gain, or any gain for that matter. And so it means much to me, as much as it should mean to all of you. Not just for Muwekma, but for all Indigenous people across Turtle Island and the unfederally recognized tribes that deserve justice. So I thank you again, Betty, for your solidarity and for doing what most don't. And that's giving Muwekma a voice and a platform to be here today. And to share our stories. And to show that we're real people in this community. We live, we work, we contribute, we pay taxes, we volunteer, we uplift, we share our culture. And I hope that each and every one of you can do what you can to support Muwekma as much as you support your own communities, and help us to reaffirm our federal recognition status. You can visit muwekma.org, or also see how to be involved with the Muwekma Land Preservation Foundation. I leave you all with a prayer that's said in our native Quechua language, and I thank you all again for your time. Exuyakma ekechokma, tuhi ho shekroken tamakuyani nenomo. Tamaki makrote himeta, maki makal shikami shikitinomo. Hemen hayechnetsi menehishme. Kimish maki makishoshe makinos tamakrote himeta. Maki yekuwai tankam yi aye. Tamakrote himeta aiki makmakinan. Tamakrota himeta olya makmaktuye. Hementa makishmetsi. Makishoshe ekinan. Utashupaka makiwe. Kishoshe ekinan. My heart rests with you all. Thank you.
Tổng Quốc Kỳ chuẩn bị. Nghiêm! Tổng Quốc Kỳ vào vị trí hành lễ. Chào Quốc Kỳ Hoa Kỳ. Nghiêm! Chào tay. Chào! Quốc ca Hoa Kỳ.
Oh, sir, can you see by the dawn's early
ca Việt Nam Cộng Hòa.
Để cộng dân ơi, quốc gia đến ngày giải phóng, đồng lòng cùng đi ghi sinh tí gìn thật sâu, vì tương lai quốc dân cùng sống và quyết tâm làm sao cho núi sông từ nay luôn vững bền, dù cho thành phần trên cương giáo thủ đưa cây mau là điện báo nổi sóng lúc tiếng phải cơn danh huy người công dân luôn vững bền tâm trách hùng tráng quyết chiến thắng làm cho khắp nơi vang tiếng người nước Nam cho đến muôn đời xứng danh miền Nam rộng rộng là thờ.
Sau đây là một phút mặc niệm. Phút mặc niệm để tri ân công đức tiền nhân các anh hùng dân tộc đã hy sinh vì nước và tưởng nhớ đồng bào chiến sĩ đồng minh đã ngã xuống vì tự do. Phút mặc niệm cho hàng ngàn người đã nằm lại ở vùng núi rừng trong ngục tù cộng sản, cho hàng vạn đồng bào kém may mắn đã trở thành nơi biên giới trên biển cả mênh mông khi tìm đường đến tự do, cho những người Việt phải an nghỉ nơi đất khách quê người. Và đặc biệt ngày hôm nay xin ghi nhớ công ơn của vị tổng thống thứ 39 của Hoa Kỳ là ông Jimmy Carter, người vừa qua đời. Ông là ân nhân của hàng ngàn người Việt tị nạn Việt Nam, đã mở rộng vòng tay giúp họ đến được bến bờ tự do và bắt đầu cuộc sống mới đầy hy vọng.
Let us observe a moment of silence to honor the sacrifices of our ancestors and heroes who gave their lives for the nation, and to remember the soldiers, allies, and compatriots who perished defending freedom. We mourn those who lost their lives in prisons, on perilous journeys to freedom, or in foreign lands far from home. Today, we especially honor the legacy of the 39th President of the United States, Jimmy Carter, who recently passed away. He was a compassionate benefactor to thousands of Vietnamese refugees, extending his hand to help them reach freedom and begin new lives filled with hope.
Phút mặc niệm bắt đầu.
The moment of silence begins now.
Phút mặc niệm chấm dứt.
The moment of silence has ended.
Toán quốc kỳ chú ý, toán quốc kỳ rời vị trí hành lễ.
Matioshu Kushka, Matioshu Kushulero, Matios Ushlaku Akadal, Matios Solimahas Suniha Kahapaluna Kakishha, Matios Balamikse Balamakad Ikbalam Mahaputash, Matios Mawekma Oloni, Matios Condado Santa Clara, Matios Nan and Tat Young, Matios, Matios, Matios. Thank you, Heart of Heaven. Thank you, Heart of Sky. Thank you for the grandmothers that take care of the waters. Thank you for the grandmothers that take care of the air that we breathe. Thank you for the grandmothers that take care of our resources. Thank you to all the ancestors present today, especially the young ancestors. We are Movimiento Cósmico. We will be sharing our prayer here today to mark this occasion in time for our supervisor, Betty Young. We will start off by giving thanks to the ancestors, to her ancestors and everyone's ancestors here. And then secondly, we'll do a dance of the night sky that helps through your problem solving, to coming together to community. And lastly, we'll finish with a dance to the fire that is dedicated to the passion, to the warmth, to our families, and to our sacredness. Madios, Madios, Madios. Thank you 1, 2, and 3 times. Matios, thank you 1, 2, and 3 times. We represent indigenous people, starting from California all the way to Anahuac or Nicaragua. We are the people that have traveled to create that communication that we once had, to share what we bring to the table and to learn from each and every one of you. We leave you with this prayer that mimics the movement of fire. The fire represents the warmth in our hearts, it represents our families, and it represents our future and our passion. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Buenas noches. It is an honor to welcome you to the Mexican Heritage Plaza to witness Supervisor Betty Young's historic swearing in as the first Vietnamese supervisor for Santa Clara County. My name is Jessica Paz-Cedillos, and I have the privilege of serving as the co-executive director of this beloved institution. The Mexican Heritage Plaza is a cornerstone of our community, a historical cultural gem championed by la madrina del Este de San Jose, Clrara. This site holds deep significance, built on the ground of one of Cesar Chavez's first grocery store boycotts. La Plaza has been a hub for our community, serving over 150,000 people annually. During the pandemic, it became a lifeline, feeding over 50,000 households and vaccinating more than 25,000 people. None of this would have been possible without the leadership of people like Supervisor Betty Young. Her tireless efforts ensured that federal, state, county, and city resources reached this hard-hit, working-class immigrant community. An achievement that exemplifies the spirit of today's celebration of retos y logros, hardships and victories. Supervisor Young's historic election as the first Vietnamese American woman to serve as supervisor for Santa Clara County is a testament to her determination and the collective power of our community. Representing District 2, the most densely populated region in our county, she serves an area rich with multi-generational Vietnamese and Latino families. Supervisor Young embodies the hope and power of solidarity building across racial lines, reminding us of the power we find when we unite. Now, Betty, as you step into this historic role, this last part is for you. First, you are here by design. Your parents, your ancestors have sacrificed and fought battles for you to walk into rooms where doors were previously closed with your head held high. And when that sense of doubt creeps in, remember, we are our ancestors' wildest dreams. Second, you will make mistakes, and some failures will be devastating, but not insurmountable. Give yourself grace, because each of us is more than the worst thing you've ever done. Finally, you have what it takes to overcome the challenges ahead. You are the embodiment of the past, present, and future. They stand with you in your most challenging moments, flowing through your veins, rooted in your bones, reminding you that we are the ones we've been waiting for. Thank you.
And I'm honored to be a newly elected California State Assembly member. We have so many wonderful, amazing people. Let's give it a round of applause for all of you being here for our next county supervisor. Before I read off these very long list of names, I want to ask, are we ready for Betty? We have the indomitable living legend, our Congress member Zoe Lofgren in attendance. My dear friend, Assembly Member Alex Lee is here. Assembly Member Homie Ashkara. Supervisor Susan Allenberg, our board president. Our wonderful California Assembly Speaker, Rob Rivas. San Jose City Council Member Pamela Campos. San Jose Council Member Peter Ortiz. San Jose Council Member David Cohen. Our County Supervisor Sylvia Arena. Sutherland and Mike Potter. From the Education, Jessica Spicer. And Axel Berta. From San Jose Evergreen Community College District, Marsha Grilly. Tony Alexander. Blue Tie. Clay Hale. And y'all roll deep in that community college.
That's right.
From the East Side Union High School District, Von Lay. Lorena Chavez. From Alum Rock, Andres Quintero. Ming Van. From Franklin McKinney, Board President George Sanchez. Mount Pleasant, Melissa Gott Lopez. Santa Clara City Council, Ross Chahal. Sunnyvale, Vice Mayor Burley Srinivasan. Our Sacramento District Attorney, Tien Ho. Rural Unified, Han Chu. Mountain View City Council, Ellen Kamei. Unified, Teresa Castellanos. Mount Pleasant, Derek Grassley. Sunnyvale City Council, Linda Sell. Sunnyvale City Council, Richard Melger. Cupertino City Council, J.R. Pruitt. Mayor, Carmen Montano. Alpena City Council Member, Evelyn Chua. Alpena's Councilmember Han Lin. Mountain View City Councilmember Lucas Ramirez. Mountain View City Council Emily Ann Ramos. Los Gatos Town Council Rob Moore. Mayor of Campbell, the first Latino mayor of Campbell, Sergio Lopez. Los Altos Council Lisa Flagor. Saratoga City Council Yan Zhao. From the Mission West Valley Community College District and former State Assembly Member Paul Baum. Former Santa Clara County Supervisor Paul Clrara. McKinley Milan Bonatan. From the Campbell City Council, Elliot Sokoza. Oak Grove, Francis Herbert. Former San Jose City Council Member Javier Campos. Former California State Assembly Member Nora Campos. Evergreen School District, Jeremy Bruce. Berryessa School District, Jerai Jug. Fremont Union High School District, Rosa Kim. From the former Sunnyvale City Council, Tony Spinelli. Franklin McKinley School District, H.G. Nguyen. From the Fremont Union High School District, Naomi Nakata Matsumoto. From the Alum Rock Union School District, Karina Herrera Loria. Dr. Calvin Gill of the Open Space Authority. Former trustee of the San Jose Evergreen School District, Wendy Ho. And we have a bunch more that I don't have the paper up here for. So we will announce you later, but I will say, my dear friends and the audience who you'll hear from later, our executive officer of the South Bay Labor Council, Gene Cohen, is here. It is such an honor to be here. Let me go ahead and bring up my colleague Lee to announce some other dignitaries. Thank you so much for your patience.
Kính thưa quý vị, hôm nay chúng ta cùng có mặt tại đây để chứng kiến một chương trình quan trọng và ý nghĩa, buổi lễ tuyên thệ nhậm chức của cô Betty Dương và chức vụ giám sát viên quận Hàn. Trước tiên xin được gửi lời chào trân trọng và cảm ơn chân thành đến tất cả quý vị đã dành thời gian quý báu để đến tham dự buổi lễ long trọng này. Để bắt đầu chương trình, chúng tôi xin vinh hạnh được giới thiệu các vị quan khách đặc biệt hiện diện hôm nay đã đóng góp không ngừng cho sự phát triển của quận Hàn của chúng ta. Quý vị chính là minh chứng cho sự đoàn kết, đa dạng và lòng tin yêu mà cộng đồng dành cho Betty Dương trong vai trò mới đầy trọng trách này. Và ngày hôm nay chúng tôi rất vinh hạnh khi được có sự hiện diện của ông Đồng Kim Cang, ông Trần Quốc Đại, luật sư Nguyễn Bích, ông Thái Văn Hòa, ông Nguyễn Trọng Thụy, ông Trần Trung Chí, ông Nguyễn Sự, ông bà Sơn Loan Bò Sonny, ông Thế Vũ Nguyễn, cô Phương Thúy, ông Trần Văn Tài, ông Duy Văn, cô Nguyễn Thị Hoa, ông Hồ Quang Thiên Vũ, ông Nguyễn Tuấn, cô Huệ Trần, ông Lý Hoàng, thầy Sáu Hồ Quang Nhật, ông Hải Huỳnh, ông Cao Hồng, ông Lê Đình Thọ, ông Nguyễn Vạn Bình và phu nhân, ông Nguyễn Hồng Dũng, ông Song Nguyên, ông Trần Đức Túc, bà Nguyễn Thị Phúc, ông Harrison và bà Maria Tạ, ông Trần Đệ, anh Nguyễn Dũng, ông Trần Long, ông Đặng Long, ông Hồ Đức Tiến, ký giả Hạnh Dương, không phải đi qua hết cái list. Và nếu như mà con có thiếu ai thì vui lòng bỏ qua cho con, bởi vì con có thể là không có thấy được các quý cô quý chú tới. Và con rất là vinh hạnh được chào đón quý cô chú bác hiện diện ngày hôm nay trong buổi lễ đặc biệt này của cô Betty Dương. Xin quý vị chào một tràng pháo tay thật nồng nhiệt để chào đón tất cả các vị quan khách đến với chúng ta ngày hôm nay. Con xin cảm ơn.
Thank you. That our living legend, our fighter for the community, the most vulnerable. Let's give a big Silicon Valley welcome for our Congresswoman, Zoe Lofgren.
What an honor to be here today to congratulate Betty and really to congratulate our whole community for her election. You know, each one of us who serves in office has a history. And I was thinking 45 years ago, I was sworn in to District 2. And it was the then mayor of San Jose, Janet Gray Hayes, announced that it was the feminist capital of the world because we had a majority of women on the Board of Supervisors. We did a lot of things. We saved the county hospital, we saved public services, but we never dreamed it would be 45 years till a new group of majority women were on the Board of Supervisors. So that's very exciting. You know, the women who followed me are beautiful Blanca and Cindy. You know, we've all built on the things for health care, for the needy and the like. And now that torch gets sent to Betty. I have still in my front yard a sign that says, "Ready for Betty," because I am ready for Betty's leadership. She is going to be fabulous. She knows what she's doing. She's willing to sacrifice for the public service. The first Vietnamese American on the board. I'm so proud of you and that community. Betty, I want to say congratulations. You are going to do wonderful things, and I'm proud to support you and proud to congratulate you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I am Susan Ellenberg, and for the next several days or so, I'm the president of the Santa Clara County Board of Supervisors. I am here with my colleagues, Supervisor Arenas and Supervisor Ave Koga, to celebrate this historic moment as we swear in Ms. Betty Young as the new supervisor for District 2. As you have heard and will hear again this evening, the significance of this moment is further magnified because Supervisor Young is the first Vietnamese American citizen ever to be elected to the Board of Supervisors. Betty's family arrived from Vietnam decades ago as part of the county's refugee resettlement program. Today, Vietnamese immigrants and longtime Vietnamese American residents together make up nearly 40% of our county's population. It's about time a member of their own community is represented on the board, don't you think? I first met Betty in 2015 when I was a school board member and she was leading the campaign for what became the phenomenally successful Measure A housing bond. She had incredible energy and passion, and it was immediately clear to me that this was someone who was just beginning to make her mark on the community. It was obvious even back then that Betty was destined for greater things, although her resume and personal story were already quite impressive. She oozed confidence and charisma, but she did the work too, including leading the Vietnamese American Service Center, the Division of Equity and Social Justice, and the County Office of Labor Standards Enforcement. Many of you know her as Chief of Staff to former Supervisor Cindy Chavez, but Betty also spent nearly 2 years as a disaster service worker, serving side by side with county executive leadership during the pandemic as the lead public information officer. Finding all of this was before joining the Board of Supervisors. Betty saw firsthand the critical role county supervisors play, both in times of calm and in times of chaos, and she knows well the importance of county government services, particularly for our neighbors who for too long have been marginalized and underserved. I am confident that Betty will be a supervisor for all residents and will leave no one behind. On behalf of my colleagues on the board, I am proud and absolutely thrilled to welcome Supervisor Betty Young into the very best job in Santa Clara County.
Good evening, I'm Jean Cohen. I'm the Executive Officer of the South Bay Labor Council. It's such an honor to be here tonight. We represent over 100,000 working families in Santa Clara and San Benito counties.
Good evening. My name is Maria Noel Fernandez. I'm the Vice President of the South Bay Labor Council and the Executive Director of Working Partnerships USA. And thank you. And we are a Community Labor Alliance working for a just Silicon Valley.
For over a century, the labor movement has been leading the fight for racial, social, and economic justice and democracy, nationally and locally, with many of you. Our values are anchored in making sure everyone who works for a living has family-supporting wages, access to affordable housing, and the ability to retire with dignity. True champions for the labor movement and middle-class values recognize and honor the voices, expertise, and importance of working people. Betty has a unique understanding and respect for the county workforce and our collective responsibility to serve the community with compassion and excellence. Unions in Santa Clara County have fought to build a more equitable economy and a more just society for all. Many of you provide critical social safety net services that protect the most vulnerable among us in Santa Clara County. You keep our communities safe, you keep our environment healthy, and these opportunities will only grow under the leadership of Supervisor Young.
Together, our organizations are fighting for a Silicon Valley where working families, immigrants, women, and people of color have power and voice in our economy and our democracy. We are fighting for a place where no matter your zip code, no matter your background, you can thrive. Betty not only shares our values, she embodies the struggle and aspirations of the families whose voices we work so hard to uplift. As a woman of color from an immigrant family whose parents worked multiple jobs to put food on the table, a roof over their heads, and to send their daughters to college, she represents and works towards the hopes and dreams we all have for our today and the future. She represents my own struggle. She represents the struggle and dreams for so many of us here tonight. For Betty, the fight for working families is personal. And the fight for working families must be personal for all of us. Our present and our future are inextricably linked. It will take all of us in this room in our community to address the greatest challenges our families face every day, and we are so proud to do this work in partnership with our new supervisor.
Entering 2025 with the leadership of Supervisor Young, her colleagues, and the amazing county workforce, there is no doubt that Santa Clara County is ready to protect and defend our values. Because when we fight, what happens? In the spirit of many traditions we are celebrating here tonight, we offer Betty the traditional labor clap and applause. Maria Noel will lead us. Congratulations, Betty.
On the rest. more than 30 years, the Japantown Business Association has worked to preserve and promote Japantown as a cultural and historic resource. The JBA is just one of the many business associations in District 2. Along Story Road, in downtown, in Alum Rock Village, and in Little Saigon, small business owners work together not only to support each other, but also to strengthen their communities by promoting their heritage and history. We see the same spirit in community groups like the Cise Poetic Collective. Together, we find our way forward by looking back. Supervisor Betty Young is a true daughter of the East Side and a strong supporter of ensuring that these unique communities continue to be dynamic centers of civic life. All of these neighborhoods and communities are integral parts of what makes our region an amazing place to live. So too is the technology industry, which has transformed all of our lives and transformed Santa Clara County from the Valley of the Heart's Delight into Silicon Valley. I would now like to introduce Carl Bordino, member of the California Transportation Commission and Vice President of Government Affairs at Toronto Finance. And we love you, Betty.
Tomiko, thank you for your inspiring comments. For years, I lived next to Japantown, and growing up, studied martial arts at the Buddhist temple at 5th and Jackson for nearly a decade. Betty, it is such an honor to be here with you, your family, your amazing sisters, Kathy and Shirley, and nearly 1,000 of your closest and dearest friends. It underscores your ability to connect individuals, industries, and institutions with united and unified purpose. It's that ability to connect communities that has made our valley such a hub of inspiration and innovation. From the Valley of Heart's Delight that my Italian immigrant grandparents discovered after leaving Sicily as children, to the Silicon Valley that we know today as the epicenter of the world's innovation economy. As I prepared my brief remarks this morning while enjoying a coffee at Academic Coffee in downtown San Jose, I reflected on how intertwined each of us are to our combined success. In our diversity is our unity. Our valley, our country, was built through the brains, the brawn, and the backs of immigrants. From my Italian grandparents working in the farms and factories here in the valley in the 1930s, 40s, 50s, and 60s, to Betty's parents working within high-tech companies, to the innovation economy like my own employer, Tirana Wireless, founded by 3 immigrants, earning their PhD graduate degrees at UC Berkeley, and their shared passion and purpose to ensure every unserved and underserved family is connected with affordable, reliable, high-speed broadband. Betty knows that we are better together, that we rise together, that we prosper together, and that we join hands rather than point fingers. Let's direct our innovation economy as a force for good for each and every family in our valley. And that is absolutely Betty's magic and commitment. That she encourages job creation, innovation, and economic success for every family, every employee, every employer. And it's why the Guardino family is so humbled and honored to stand with Betty through this leadership journey. Thank you, Betty.
I'd also love to announce our county executive, James Williams, is here. I have some budget ideas to talk to you about later. Our Chief Operating Officer for San Diego County, Greta Hansen, is here. The City of Sunnyvale's first Vietnamese Police Chief, Ben No, is here. Thank you, Chief. And the first Vietnamese City Councilwoman for Sunnyvale, Eileen Lay, is here as well. Next up, I would like to introduce no stranger to the fight for working families in Sacramento, a personal mentor of mine, Assemblymember Clrara.
All right, everybody, you ready for Betty? Yeah! Well, at this point, it doesn't matter whether you are or not, she's here. And so she's ready to go. I'm honored to be on the stage right now with another trailblazer, Sacramento District Attorney and San Jose native, Tin Ho. And, you know, I just want to start off by, first of all, sending my thoughts, love, and prayer to our brothers and sisters in Los Angeles. In particular, a lot of our colleagues that are down there that have been working tirelessly over the last 72 hours to represent their community. And of course, our speaker, who's also been supporting them day in, day out. In fact, the speaker, I think, is taking off to LA tomorrow morning. And of course, just to thank our firefighters, including some from San Jose Fire, Santa Clara County Fire throughout Northern California and surrounding states, as well as from Mexico and Canada, that are all there. Let's pray for our firefighters. And you know, when the fires are out, and they are going to be out, when the news cameras have left and are gone, those families are going to need to be lifted up. And the primary responsibility for that falls on the county. That tells you how important it is to elect the right people. And we certainly elected the right person in electing Betty Young to our Santa Clara County Board of Supervisors. And it's my honor to talk a little bit to introduce our Speaker of the State Assembly, Robert Rivas. Yeah, and a trailblazer himself, Robert joined the Assembly in 2018 and became my seatmate. That's when I took him under my wing, and we built a very close friendship, and he's still my best friend in the legislature, and it's been an honor to watch him grow in his leadership to become the 71st Speaker. But the reality is, I do see a lot of commonality with Speaker Rivas and Supervisor Young. And I've actually known Betty a lot longer, but I noticed a lot of these similarities in that they really do their homework. I would notice that when Robert was my seatmate, he'd be studying voraciously, reading, studying on all the issues. Unfortunately, I can't say that for all my colleagues, but I can say that about Speaker Rivas. That's something that Betty has always done as well. Always make sure that she knows the facts. She puts her time into understanding the issues on behalf of the community. The other thing that Speaker Rivas focuses on are actions, not words. Getting things done. Making sure what we do actually benefits the community is not just for show. And Betty's just simply heard about some of from Supervisor Ellenberg and others, the work that Betty has done. You'll hear a little bit more about that. But it's about action. And that's what I love about our speaker as well, because he leads by that example and it forces all of us to stop focusing on the cameras and the headlines and actually focus on the work. And the third thing, which I think to me is the most important, is not forgetting where you came from. We know that Betty Young grew up here in the East Side, in a working class family, in a working class immigrant neighborhood. Robert Rivas grew up in farm worker housing, living with his entire family, living in one bedroom. He's never forgotten where he has come from. And although his family, similar to Betty's family, may not have had all the material resources, they made sure their kids had everything they needed, and more importantly, their cup was overflowing with love. And it's that love and support that has allowed Robert Rivas to become the 71st Speaker of the California State Assembly. The first modern speaker from a rural community, the first San Jose State Spartan to be Speaker of the California State Assembly, and similar to Betty, someone that has gotten to where he is because of the love and support of community. So it's my great honor to have with us today to conduct the oath of office to Supervisor Betty Young, our incredible Speaker of the California State Assembly, Robert Rivas. Good evening, my name is Tin Ho, and I'm the District Attorney of Sacramento County.
When I was sworn in 2 years ago and became the first and only Vietnamese American elected district attorney in the country, I quoted an old ancient African proverb. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And so today, as we celebrate Betty and we celebrate this achievement, let's remember that Betty's family escaped from Vietnam and emigrated to this country in the middle of war. How far have we come together? Let's not forget that when they arrived in this country, they had nothing but the clothes on their back, and Betty and her sisters and her parents lived in Section 8 housing downtown San Jose. How far have we come? Let's not forget that Betty then moved to the east side and with her sisters went to public school. And let's not forget that Betty and her sisters went to college, and she went to UC Berkeley and then graduated from law school at UC Davis. How far have we come? And she worked her way in terms of serving the community, in all communities, not just the Vietnamese community, but the Latino community, the African American community, our indigenous community. How far have we come? And let's not forget that when Betty worked for the county, in the midst of a 100-year pandemic, it was Betty who was the face and the voice of the county in dealing with that. How far have we come? And let's not forget that Betty was instrumental in really developing the Vietnamese American Service Center and making what it is, serving the community. How far have we come? And today, it is my great honor and privilege as a son of San Jose, as someone who grew up in East San Jose, to look at Betty, because Betty is a supervisor for my dad and my family who still live here on the east side. And to remember that no matter where we go in life, we go together. And we lift each other, because a rising tide lifts all ships. And there is no one here who will better serve this community than Betty Young, because how far have we come? And I am so honored to stand here today and to ask you, are we ready for Betty? Yes, we are! That's why I love to invite Betty up here, because how far has she come? Thank you.
Here with all of you. Appreciate the opportunity to be here with my colleagues, Patrick Aarons and Ash Clrara, and I really appreciate Ash Clrara, that, you know, he mentioned the fires in LA. Certainly our thoughts are with our colleagues, family, friends there in Los Angeles. You know, our hearts go out to everyone who's been impacted, lost their home. You know, this situation in LA is absolutely a devastating situation. You know, we've not seen anything like it. And in all likelihood, at the end of this crisis, this is going to be one of the most destructive and costly natural disasters, not only in the history of California, but in the history of the United States. And when you look at this challenging time, this is a time when we need our leaders to step up. This should be a time where leaders are leveraging a human tragedy to make political gains. You know, this is a time where our focus should be on fire victims, on the communities that have been devastated by this tragedy. We all should be asking, whether you're Democrat, Republican, you don't vote. What we all should be asking is, how can I help? And to this point, it's exactly why I am here tonight. To this exact point, because I appreciate the opportunity to be here to celebrate, and this is a point of celebration for the County of Santa Clara, a time of reflection and a renewed commitment to the values that bind us all as a community. Because in a time where negativity dominates the headlines, dominates politics, our communities, we need leaders who don't just talk about justice, but embody justice. We need leaders who don't just point to the problems, but are willing to roll up their sleeves, lean in, and solve problems. It's not enough for us to hope for a better world. We have to build a better world. Build it through our actions, through our courage, and through our unshakable commitment to always do what is right. In every choice we make, it sends a signal. And this past November, voters here in Santa Clara County made their choice. The choice to elect, as we've heard, the first Vietnamese American to the Santa Clara County Board of Supervisors, and Betty Yu. And Betty Yu's journey to this moment, it reflects the very essence of the California dream. It's a story of determination, of grit, and a profound connection to the people that she now serves. And I'm confident that Betty's leadership is going to inspire us to reimagine what is possible here in Santa Clara County. That local government isn't just about policies and programs, but it's about people. About working to create communities where families can thrive, where small businesses can flourish, and where neighbors can trust that their voices are going to be heard at the local level. You know, our challenges here in California, across our country, they are incredible, they're great. But so too is our potential. And Betty, we trust in your vision. We trust in your ability to bridge divides and to bring consensus, bring people together, and to always lead with integrity. But most of all, we trust in your unwavering commitment. A commitment to building a county here in Santa Clara where everyone, regardless of race, background, or circumstance, is going to have a fair chance to succeed. And so let us begin this journey with Betty, with hope in our hearts, and with a very strong purpose in our minds. So Betty, would you like to come up to the stage? They didn't print out the oath for me, so I've got to read it. I can't see. So. Hey, Betty. I'll just ask you to repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Betty Yu,
Do solemnly swear. That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
And the Constitution of the State of California.
And the Constitution of the State of California.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
That I will bear faith and allegiance.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance.
To the Constitution of the United States.
To the Constitution of the United States.
Constitution of the State of California.
And the Constitution of the State of California.
And I take this obligation freely.
That I take this obligation freely.
Without any mental reservation.
Without any mental reservation. Or purpose of evasion.
That I will well and faithfully.
That I will well and faithfully.
Discharge the duties.
Upon which I'm about to enter.
Congratulations.
Oh, wow. Hi, everyone. You see everybody when you're up here. Thank you, everyone, for joining me this evening. Thank you for making the time to be here. Thank you for supporting me on this journey and being with my family tonight. I want to thank all of our guests watching from home as this is being live cast, and I want to thank everyone who wanted to be here this evening and try to make their way here. And thank you, Speaker Rivas, for swearing me in. Santa Clara County is so fortunate to have you representing us in Sacramento, and our state is so fortunate to have your leadership in these challenging times. I would not be here today without the love, support, support, and encouragement of the most important people in my life. My husband Kai, my daughter Harper, my son Nico, my sisters, my parents, and my entire family. I love you all. To all the county workers, current and retired, who built the system to receive and support immigrants and refugees. To the community members who work tirelessly to build a new home for themselves and one another. To our neighbors committed to creating a welcoming environment for all. I hope today makes you proud. I stand here as the District 2 County Supervisor because of the movement of working families, labor unions, neighborhoods, and small businesses spanning cultures and generations who love this district and believe in what this county can be. District 2 will always be my heart. And today I stand on the shoulders of my elders in this district, including past supervisors Blanca Alvarado, Cindy Chavez, and Zoe Lofgren. I love this district, and it's where I was born, where I raised my family, and where I learned what a movement of people can do to build a better future for us all. History has been made in District 2, time and time again. From the streets of Japantown and Little Saigon, to right here in Mayfair, where a young Cesar Chavez first learned to organize and later launched a great boycott at this very spot that would catalyze the movement for the rights of farm workers and the broader Chicano movement. It is the honor of my life to represent District 2 on the Board of Supervisors and to continue making history with all of you. I believe so strongly in the mission and importance of county government because I know from personal experience the difference it can make in people's lives. No matter the zip code you call home, how much money is in your pocket, or your country of origin. I am here today because of county government. My parents, like many others, fled the horrors of the Vietnam War, but they came here because of the county's refugee resettlement program. I was born at Santa Clara Valley Medical Center, as was my daughter. My sisters and I, our neighbors and friends, our cousins and besties, raised on county programs and services. The County of Santa Clara shaped and nurtured me, and that inspired me to devote my career to public service. I believe in the power of government to improve the lives of all of our residents. Still today, we face enormous challenges as a community, from homelessness and housing insecurity to public safety, health inequity, and threats from Washington. Looking at the crowd before me, I can confidently say, I see these issues not as a reason for despair, but an opportunity to work together to build something better. As your supervisor, I am committed to making Santa Clara County work for everyone. First and foremost, I am committed to rallying our community to work together towards an all-hands-on-deck approach to housing our neighbors and preventing homelessness. Housing is the foundation of every family's health, safety, and economic opportunity. As a child, my family depended on a housing voucher. As an organizer, I led the effort to pass the Measure A affordable housing bond that went on to build thousands of affordable homes. As your supervisor, I know we must do more and we must do it together. Whether it's connecting people to rental assistance or behavioral health services, creating interim shelter, or building permanent supportive housing, each of these solutions are critical, but they can only do so much alone. We need to work together across levels of government, labor, employers, nonprofits, and the development community to point all of our neighbors towards a path home, instead of simply pointing fingers at each other. Secondly, I will work every day to make our neighborhood safer with every tool at our disposal. Everyone deserves a safe neighborhood where they can live, work, learn, worship, and play. As supervisor, I will do everything in my power to pursue a data-driven approach to making District 2 residents' businesses and neighborhoods safer. I will lead the fight to ensure our public safety agencies, prevention efforts, and neighborhood organizations have the resources needed to protect our residents by investing in community resilience in order to weather any storm that comes our way and build safer communities for all residents of Santa Clara County. Third, it is my goal to build a world-class system of hospitals, clinics, services, and policies to achieve health equity. Every resident in District 2 deserves access to quality health care, affordable health care, clean air, parks, and open spaces to raise our families. Together, let's continue to grow state-of-the-art public healthcare systems and hubs based in community, including preserving and growing regional medical centers. Let's strengthen and grow our behavioral health system, and let's ensure every worker, especially in sectors like fast food, know their rights, are paid a living wage, and are treated with dignity. Let's re-envision the future of Reed Hillview Airport, create better parks and open space, and support and strengthen the workers who keep us all healthy. Lastly, in my time as supervisor, I want to make Santa Clara County the most welcoming place in the United States for all immigrant families, regardless of status or time of arrival, just as Santa Clara County welcomed my Vietnamese American community. Firsthand both the enormous opportunities and challenges immigrants and refugee families face. District 2 across East San Jose, Little Saigon, Japantown, Little Italy, Little Portugal, Hanoi Town, and Chinatown has always been an ideal destination for immigrants to establish roots and rebuild their lives. And I will fight for programs and policy to ensure we are the most welcoming place in the nation for immigrant families. Historically, our county government is most effective when its partners and collaborates with our cities, schools, special districts, with the state, with labor, and with our business community. We saw that type of partnership in action during the pandemic when we worked together to get personal protective equipment to our frontline workers and to rapidly set up and operate mass testing in the largest vaccination site in the country. I pledge to continue that spirit of collaboration with our business community, both small businesses that are the heartbeat of our neighborhoods and the largest companies in the world that call our county home. Because I firmly believe that leading our county is not about playing a zero-sum game where one side wins and the other loses. True leadership sees a path where every community in our county can grow together. That is my goal as your supervisor. We are entering a period of great uncertainty in our country and great anxiety for many of us. What happens in Washington has a tremendous impact on all of us, including on our county. But I feel confident with my colleagues on the board, with our skilled and committed county workforce, and all of you before me, together we can ensure our county is a force for good these next 4 years, building a Santa Clara County not just for the few, but for all. The challenge ahead is great, but thankfully as I begin my term, I have the legacy and accomplishments of my elders as a source of wisdom and inspiration. You are my role models. You are my mentors, my friends, my neighbors, and my family. And you and the 400,000 residents of District 2 will always know that I work for you. I pledge to never forget that and to work every day to ensure that the County of Santa Clara continues to be a place of hope and opportunity for all. Thank you. A little bit more, I promise it's almost over. Thank you for this indulgence. I will now provide brief remarks in Vietnamese. But before I do that, I would like to invite my Vietnamese veterans and elders who are here to stand up. Please, con xin cựu chiến binh, các nhà lãnh đạo, cộng đồng người Việt Nam quý vị xin đứng lên. Ba má xin đứng lên. Các cô, các chú, các bà, các chị. I ask you to stand up to be recognized for your sacrifice and for all you have contributed to our community and to Santa Clara County. Thank you for carrying our hopes and dreams across the ocean to rebuild your lives here and then to raise a whole generation of Vietnamese Americans rooted in our culture, our history, and your struggles. Thank you. Kính thưa quý vị đại diện cộng đồng Việt Mỹ, các tổ chức hội đoàn, quý cơ quan truyền thông, báo chí, quý anh chị thiện nguyện viên, quý đồng hương và các nhóm bạn thân mến.
Lời đầu tiên Betty xin gửi đến tất cả quý vị là lời cảm ơn chân thành nhất vì đã dành thời gian quý báu để tham dự buổi lễ nhận chức của Betty hôm nay. Đây không chỉ là một dịp trọng đại đánh dấu bước khởi đầu mới cho địa hạt 2 mà còn là một lời cam kết quyết tâm của Betty rằng Betty sẽ tận tâm và nỗ lực hết mình để phục vụ cộng đồng. Ngày hôm nay, buổi lễ nhậm chức này là một cột mốc vô cùng ý nghĩa, không chỉ với riêng Betty mà còn với cộng đồng người Việt tại đây. Lần đầu tiên trong lịch sử chúng ta đã có một người Việt Nam được bầu vào hội đồng giám sát viên hạt Clrara. Điều này không chỉ là niềm tự hào của riêng Betty mà còn là còn là minh chứng cho sức mạnh và tiếng nói của cộng đồng chúng ta. Betty sẽ làm việc không ngừng nghỉ để xứng đáng với niềm tình yêu mà quý vị đã dành trao. Nhân dịp đặc biệt này, Betty xin bày tỏ lòng biết ơn sâu xa đến ba má, những người đã dạy dỗ, yêu thương và nuôi dưỡng Betty bằng cả trái tim. Chính tình yêu vô điều kiện và sự dìu dắt của ba má đã trao cho Betty những giá trị vững chắc về truyền thống và văn hóa Việt Nam, làm nền tảng cho mỗi bước đi trên hành trình hôm nay. Betty cũng muốn dành lời tri ân đầy yêu thương đến chồng anh Khải và con gái Harper và con trai Nico của Betty. Tình yêu, sự ủng hộ hết mình và sự sẻ chia của gia đình đã là nguồn động lực to lớn giúp Betty vượt qua những thử thách khó khăn nhất trong hành trình này. Cuối cùng, với tất cả sự chân thành, Betty xin tri ân cộng đồng, những người đã luôn đồng hành, nâng đỡ và tiếp sức cho Betty. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you again for the honor. Thank you. Time to party. Where the line dancers at?
Apologies. We now have a series of cultural performances. So I'm so sorry. If we could clear this front space.